الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أما بعد. Inshallah bidnillahi ta'ala, today with regards to this lecture we'll be speaking about the importance given by Ahlul Sunnah to good companionship and the evil consequences of bad companionship. Firstly and foremostly, we should understand that this matter of companionship is a matter of which the Salaf have wrote many chapters in books of which they gathered the aqeedah, the belief of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah and the methodology of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. For example, Ibn Battah in his book Al-Ibana, rahimahullahu ta'ala, he mentioned the ways by which a person might deviate. He mentioned the reasons or causes which would result in a person deviating from the methodology of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. And the Shaykh, he mentioned two matters. The first of them, al-bahth wa-tanfir wa-tanqir wa-kathratu su'al. That you research and you ask questions about something of no benefit. This will cause, as the Shaykh he said, awrathaha ash-shak. It will cause the heart to become doubtful. And then he went on to mention وَأَنَّ الَّذِي أَمْرَضَهَا بَعْدَ صِحَتِهَا, and that which will cause the heart to become sick after it has been healthy, and it will remove from it this cure or this good state. إِنَّمَا هُوَ مِن صُحْبَةِ, indeed it is from accompanying the one whose companionship would deceive you. So this is a great matter. Why? Because this matter of companionship, it could either help us get to Al-Jannah or aid us in becoming from those people who are destined to or for the hellfire. And we should know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, لا يأتي عليكم زمان, there does not come upon you a time إلا الذي بعده شر منه, except that which comes after it is more evil than it, حتى تلقوا ربكم, until you meet your Lord. We should know from this hadith, the hadith which is reported by Al-Bukhari on the authority of Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that the time does not increase except that the situation gets worse. So if the Salaf such as Ibn Battah and the Lalikai and other than them has mentioned in their books, Sharh Sunnah al-Barbahari, about the evil consequences of sitting with the people of evil, firstly and foremost the Ahlul Bid'ah, people of innovation, then we should know that this is a matter of great concern, because the people in our time are more evil than the people who were in their time. And we know concerning the matter of companionship, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He advised His messenger when He addressed him in His saying, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ. He said to Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, have patience, O Muhammad, with those who supplicate to their Lord in the morning and in the evening. يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ, they seek by this His face, the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to His Prophet, have patience, O Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, with your companions who supplicate to their Lord in the morning and the night, whilst they remember Him with a tasbih, with tahmeed and other remembrance. Have patience with them. Those people who seek the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning they don't seek anything from this world. Why? Because accompanying those people who are righteous, salih, it will result in a lot of good, and inshallah we shall mention some of it. And the person who sits with them, he will realize in this life the effects of these righteous people upon him. And also we should know, as Ibn Hibban rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the scholars of the past, he said, كل جليس لا يستفيد المرء منه خيرا تكون مجالسة الكلب خيرا من عشرته. He said, rahimahullah ta'ala, every gathering of which a person does not benefit from, then it is better that he sits with a dog. Look at the statement of this Imam. Every gathering that you sit with, or any person you sit with and you find yourself not benefiting, it is better that you sit with a dog. تكون مجالسة الكلب خيرا. Sitting with a dog would be better than staying with the person who you have not benefited anything from. And he said, وَمَنْ يَصْحَبْ, and the one who accompanies صاحب السوء, a person of evil, لا يسلم, he will not be safe. كما أن من يدخل مداخل السوء يتهم, like the one who enters places of evil will be accused of the evil. Look at the kalam of Ibn Hibban. Why? Because a gathering of righteous people is something which cannot be, the blessings cannot be counted and cannot be conceived. Why? Because it's great. Either you're going to follow them in their ways or you're going to benefit from that which they are doing. As the Prophet ﷺ said, as the hadith comes backing up the statement of Ibn Hibban, when the Prophet said, إِنَّمَا مَثَلُ الْجَلِيسِ الصَّالِحِ وَالْجَلِيسِ السُّوءِ, when he said the like of a righteous gathering, or a righteous companion, and an evil companion is the like of one who is carrying some perfume, or the one who is working in the bellows, meaning he deals with iron or metals. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said about the one who carries, the carrier of perfume, either you will buy from him some of this perfume or you will get from him some of the smell. And as for the one who works in the bellows, meaning the one who is dealing with steel, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِمَّا أَنْ يَحْرِقْ ثَوْبَكَ, either he will burn your garments or you will find from him a repugnant smell. Look at the example the Prophet ﷺ gave between the two gatherings. The righteous person is like a person who has perfume. Either you take and you benefit from this smell, you now become a person who smells nice. Wa alaykum as-salam. You have pleased those who are around you, and you have made them happy because you do not stink, and you are not causing anybody to feel uneasy and uncomfortable. And likewise, the example the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the evil companion, or the evil gathering, is the one who works in the bellows. Why? Because either he will burn your thobe, he will harm you. So a bad companion will harm you, he will hurt you. Or you will take from him an evil smell or a disgusting, repugnant smell. So by taking this repugnant smell, now if you were to go in a gathering of people, you would also be harming them. And you will not please those who are around you. Likewise, the one who sits with a righteous person or in a righteous gathering, he attains, inshallah, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the salawat, the prayers of the malaika, the angels. And he, inshallah, will eventually please his Lord. And the one who sits with an evil companion, a person who's backbiting, a person who's slandering, a person who is a fasiq, a sinner, or somebody who is a mubtadi', an innovator, then he will get the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know, as Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala said from this hadith concerning it, in the Sharh of Muslim, he said, فيه, in this hadith, فَضِيلَةُ مَجَالِسَةِ الصَّالِحِينَ, it shows the excellence of sitting with the righteous people. وَأَهْلُ الْخَيْرِ, and the people of good, وَالْمُرُوءَ, and good reputation, وَمَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, and those who have good manners, وَالْوَرْعَ, and piety, وَالْعِلْمَ, and knowledge, وَالْأَدَبَ, of manners. And he said, وَنَهَا, and the Prophet, he forbade, عَنْ مَجَالَسَةِ أَهْلِ الشَّرِّ, from sitting with the evil people, وَأَهْلِ الْبِدَعِ, and the people of innovation, وَمَنْ يَغْتَابَ النَّاسِ, and those who backbite the people. This was what Imam Nawawi said about this hadith. Why? Because from common sense it's known that you do not sit with a person who's going to harm you. If somebody said to you, come and I will burn your thobe, you would say no and you would abstain. So that's why the Prophet is saying, stay away from these people. Because they will burn your thobe, and they will do more than burn your garment, they will burn your religion. And your religion is more expensive than any outer garment that you wear. And we know, as we mentioned earlier, from the gathering of the righteous people, you will get some type of benefit. Whether you participate with them in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you gain some type of knowledge, or whether you gain some of this perfume, where the smell of theirs comes upon you, by which just sitting with them, you being present amongst them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends His malaika upon you. And there comes a hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam when he said, and this hadith is sahih, reported by Ahmad and Al-Bukhari and Muslim and other than them. When the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, Inna lillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala malaika, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has angels, yabtaghuna majalis al-dhikr, and he goes on to say, they seek out the gatherings of remembrance. فَإِذَا وَجَدُوا مَجْلِسًا فِيهِ ذِكْرٌ قَعَدُوا مَعَهُمْ. And if they find a gathering of which there is remembrance, meaning remembrance of Allah taking place, they sit with them. Allahu Akbar. The righteous gathering where remembrance, knowledge is being sought, where people are mentioning the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the malaika are present, sitting amongst you. And he said, وَحَفَ بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا بِأَجْنِحَتِهِمْ. That they place their wings, some of them over the others, until they fill that which is between them, وَبَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا, and between the heavens and the earth. Imagine how many angels. Imagine how many angels in this type of gathering. Then they would, فَإِذَا انصَرَفُوا, they would now depart إِلَى السَّمَاء, to the sky. قَالَ, the Prophet said, فَيَسْأَلُهُمْ اللَّهِ, Allah would ask them Azza wa Jal, and He knows what they were doing. مِنْ أَيْنَ جِئْتُمْ, where did you come from? And they would say to Him, جِئْنَا مِنْ عِنْدَ, we came from your slaves that were upon the earth. يُسَبِّحُونَك, they praised you with Subhanallah. وَيُكَبِّرُونَك, and they praised you with a takbir, Allahu Akbar. وَيُهَلِّلُونَك, and they say La ilaha illallah. وَيَحْمَدُونَك, and they praise you with Alhamd. وَيَسْأَلُونَك, and they ask you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, وَمَا يَسْأَلُونَنِي, and what do they ask me? And the angels would respond that they ask you for Jannah. And then Allah said, but they have not seen my Jannah. And then the angels will respond, and they seek refuge with you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask, from what do they seek reference? And the angels will reply, from your hellfire, O Lord. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reply, and did they see the hellfire or my fire? Meaning they have not seen it. So the hadith goes on, where the angels, they mention, Rabbi, they say, oh our Lord, fihim fulan. There is amongst them a person, an individual, abdun khata, a slave who has some mistakes, some sins. إِنَّمَا مَرَّ فَجَلَسَ مَعَهُمْ. He passed them and he sat with them. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said? قَالَ فَيَقُولَ, Allah said, وَلَهُ غَفَرْتُ, and I forgave him. Why? Because he walked past a gathering of righteous people and he sat with them. He sat with them and he benefited. How? Because Allah forgave him. Because he was in a gathering of the righteous people who are praising Allah with a tahleel, wa takbir, wal hamd, wa tahmeed, and the other forms of dhikr and remembrance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave this slave who was a sinner or had mistakes or errors. So who from us doesn't need a gathering of this type? Who from us does not need a gathering where we have sins? Because the Prophet said, كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمْ خَطَّاءٌ, all of the sons of Adam have mistakes. وَخَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ التَّوَّابُونَ, and the best of those who have mistakes are those who seek repentance. So we all have errors and slips and mistakes. And we're in need of these type of gatherings, sitting with those who are righteous. So that's why we should search and find those people upon the truth, those people who are considered to be Ahl al-Salah, those people who are the people of righteousness, and accompany them, and abandon those people who are evil. And Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he said again concerning this hadith in his Sharh al-Muslim, he said, في هذا الحديث فضيلة الذكر وفضيلة مجالسه والجلوس مع أهله وإن لم يشاركهم وفضل مجالسة الصالحين. Imam al-Nawawi said in this hadith which we mentioned, it shows the excellence of remembrance, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way He has legislated. And it shows the excellence of this gathering, a gathering of which remembrance is present. And the excellence of sitting with its people, the people who are remembering Allah, even if you do not participate with them in this. And the excellence of sitting with the righteous people. Why? Because a man was forgiven and all he done is walk past and sat with them. So this is a matter of great importance for every Muslim, whether small or whether old, whether male or whether female. Why? Because we should search and we want to aid ourselves and help ourselves. Because fitna, trial and tribulation, as Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala said, occurs due to two matters. Either a shubha, a shahwa, a doubt, or due to some person's desires. If you sit with the people of bid'ah, you're going to gain shubha. They are going to be a fitna for you, a trial, because now you're going to gain doubts from them. If you sit with the people of fisq, people who are sinning, fornicating, drinking alcohol, listening to music or any other type of sin, then you are gaining from them shahwa, desires. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ told us of the effects of the one who sits with the one who is righteous and the gathering of those who are evil. And it's only a matter of time until the effects start to take place and appear upon the one who is sitting with them. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, when he said in an authentic hadith, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba, a person is with the one whom he loves. Why? Because if you sit with the righteous people, insha'Allah, you love those who are righteous and you love piety in itself. If you sit with those people who are evil, then you must love evil in itself. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. Because it's not possible for a person who loves piety, seeks to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with obedience, that he sits with those people who are fasaq, who are sinners. It's not possible. Because he's going to see something which he detests and which he hates, and he cannot proceed upon, and he's going to have to remove himself from that gathering. But if he remains with them, it shows that he is like them. From this small hadith, we know and we take from it a manhaj, a methodology, which we'll go into a bit later. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. That's why one of the Salaf, they used to say, احفظوا مني ثلاثة. Memorize from me three things. Memorize and take from me three things. إياكم وهوى متبع. Beware of desires which are to be followed. وقرين السوء. And an evil companion. وإعجاب المرء بنفسه. And a person being surprised or being amazed at his own self. So one of the Salaf in this wasiyah, in this advice, he advised, memorize for me three things. Beware of desires and beware of an evil companion. Why? Because if you abstain from desires and you stay away from the shahwa, and Ibn Uthaymeen said this is fitna. Fitna, it occurs and it's built upon two things. A shubha, a doubt, and a shahwa, one's desires. So he's saying, if you manage to abstain from a type of shubha or any type of desires, then likewise stay away from an evil companion. Why? Because if you stay with this evil companion, eventually you will end up with this desire or this innovation or this doubt which you're trying to abstain from and you have fled from. They go hand in hand. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. And that's why Ibn Hibban, he said, Al-aqil yalzam suhbat al-akhyar. The one who has intellect and is aware of that which is happening, he seeks and he sticks to those, the companionship of those who are deemed to be good or righteous. The opposite understanding, the ghabi, the one who is stupid, foolish, not aware of what's happening around him, he seeks the companionship of those who are evil. Ibn Hibban went on to say, وَيُفَارِقْ صُحْبَهُ الْأَشْرَارِ. And the one who is aqid, the one who has intellect, a sound understanding, he abstains and he removes himself from the companionship of those people who are evil. Why? Because if you abstain from evil, then you have to abstain from the people of evil. And then he went on to say, وَصُحْبَةُ الْأَشْرَارِ, and accompanying those people who are deemed to be evil, تُورِثُ الذَّنْبِ الْأَخْيَارِ, it will cause, if you accompany those people who are evil, it will cause you to have bad thoughts about those people who are good. How many times do we see this? A person, he accompanies a mubtadi' or a person of doubts and shubahat, and due to this, he now looks at his brothers from Ahlul Sunnah and attacks them and abuses them and has bad thought about them. Why? What's the source? Because it's companionship. Because of this companionship. And that is why the Salaf, they gave great importance to this issue. They gave great importance to this issue of companionship. And that is why from the manhaj of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, as we will mention, we do not sit with the people of innovation because it will lead to innovation in itself. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to you, and mentioned to all of us in the Quran, when He said concerning وَقَدْ نَزَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الْكِتَابِ أَنْ إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا وَيُسْتَهْزَأُ بِهَا. Allah said, and it has been revealed to you in the book, or upon you in the book, meaning Al-Quran, that if you hear the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ayat of Allah, people disbelieving in them, or them being mocked, فَلَا تَقْعَدُ مَعَهُمْ, don't sit with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the believers, if we hear the signs of Allah being mocked, don't sit with these people. فَلَا تَقْعَدُ مَعَهُمْ. This is la an-nahiya. Prohibition, is not allowed for you to sit with them. And the people who disbelieve in the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that they are the kafaran other than them. And ahlul bid'ati wa dhalala. And those who mock the signs of Allah. So when a person continues upon his evil, his fisq, you can't sit with them. Allah forbade you from sitting with them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, until they speak about something else, إِنَّكُمْ إِذَمْ مِثْلُهُمْ. And if you don't remove yourself from them, then you are like them. If you don't remove yourself from this evil gathering, then you are like them. It's not possible. As we will show later, that a person who is righteous can be a companion, a sadiq, rafiq of one who is a sinner. It's not possible. It's not possible that a Sunni, a Salafi, can aid and defend an innovator. Not possible. That's why some of the Salaf, like Al-Fudayl, he said, a person of the Sunnah does not aid a person or defend a person of bid'ah except from nifaq, hypocrisy. It's not possible. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ جَامِعُ الْمُنَافِقِينَ وَالْكَافِرِينَ فِي جَهَنَّمْ جَمِيعًا. He said, indeed Allah will gather the hypocrites and the kafirs, the disbelievers in the hellfire, all of them together. Why? Because, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, Al-arwahu junud mujannada. The souls are like a recruited army. The souls are like a recruited army. Al-arwahu junud mujannada. If you are righteous and you love piety, you will be with those who are righteous. If you want good for yourself and you want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and abstain, stay away from those sinful matters, the muharramat, then you will stay away from their gatherings and their sittings. If you want evil, then you will find yourself in gatherings of evil. That's why the Prophet said the souls are like a recruited army. Your soul will unite with one which is like it. If it's evil, then it will unite with an evil soul. If it's good, then it will find a good soul to accompany and sit with. This is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the manhaj of the Salaf in itself. And that is what we really wanted to talk to after showing the importance of good companionship. The methodology of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah with regards to staying with Ahlul Sunnah and staying away from the people of innovation. And if a person associates and sits with the people of innovation, then we judge him and we behave with him like we behave with the people of innovation. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is from the manhaj of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. This is why companionship is great in the deen of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ, who did he have with him? As-Sahaba. And we know the Sahabas, we repeat often and repeatedly, كُلُّ مَنْ لَقِيَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مُؤْمِنًا بِهِ وَمَاتَ عَلَى الْإِسْلَامِ. Everybody who met the Messenger of Allah as a believer in him and died upon the religion of Islam. And the Sahaba were the best of people with ijma' of this ummah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them ta'deel, praised them in the Quran. So the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the best companions. Which shows it's from the sunnah to have the best companions. Likewise, those who came after them from the tabi'un, the Sahaba, they had the best companions in the tabi'un. From the scholars of al-Islam. And likewise the tabi'un, those who came after them, atba'uhum, they had the best companions from the tabi'in. So this shows, and Islam in that period was the strongest as it was, or ever had been. At the period of the Sahaba and the tabi'un wa atba'uhum. Why? What helped in this? First of all, we know that they implemented the tawheed and the ittiba', following Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and they only, and what helped them do this? That they sat with those people who were righteous and abstained from those people who were evil. That is why the manhaj of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, we give so much importance to one's companionship and one's friends, and who does one sit with. Due to this bab, due to this reason, that's not possible for a person to abstain from fitna. And we all repeat again, fitna, as Ibn Uthaymeen said, fitna is built upon a shubha, a doubt, and it is built upon a shahwa, desires. So from the bab of staying away from doubts, we stay away from the people of innovation. So we stay away from fitna. And this is abstaining from fitna in itself. Because the Salaf were harsh upon this fact. And the Salaf, they used to believe that if you see a person with an innovator, then he's an innovator like him. And inshallah we'll read many athar and speech of the scholars which implement this fact. Why? Because it's an important matter. Sitting with those who are righteous and abstaining from those who are evil. From Ahlul Bid'ah, Ahlul Kafara, and other than them, and Ahlul Fisq. Why? Because we want to stay away from fitna. We want to stay away from desires, and we want to stay away from doubts. As to safeguard our religion. Because we know the principle which is well known, that dar'ul mafsada, that warding off the harm, has precedence upon bringing about good. So maybe sitting with them is benefit. But firstly and foremostly, you should warn against, or you should repel the evil away from yourself. You should repel the evil away from yourself. So you might want good for them, and you might be able to give them some good. But firstly and foremostly, you have to remove the evil from yourself. For example, and one of the beautiful statements of the Imam Ibn Battah rahimahullah ta'ala, when he comments upon the hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. When the Prophet, he spoke about the Dajjal. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, he said, Man sami'a minkum bid Dajjal, the one who hears about the Dajjal from you, فَلْيَنْأَ, then be far away or stay far away from him. Anhu, قالها ثلاثة, and he said it 3 times. The Prophet ﷺ said, the one who hears about the Dajjal, stay away from him, stay far away from him. And he said it 3 times, showing the emphasis upon this subject. Then he said, فَإِنَّ الرَّجُلِ, he explained why. Why should we stay away from the Dajjal? Why should we stay away from a Dajjal? Because we know he's a kafir. We know that he's going to have kafir written upon his head. We know his signs and how he's going to look like. Why should we stay away from him? We know he's a kafir. We know he's going to be killed eventually. We know this. Why should we stay away from him? Because the Prophet said, فَإِنَّ الرَّجَلْ يَأْتِيهِ وَهُوَ يَرَى أَنَّهُ كَاذِبٌ فَيَتَّبِعُهُ لِمَا يَرَى مِنَ الشُّبَهِ. The Prophet said, because a man will come to him, and he will know and he will be sure that the Dajjal is a liar. He will be certain that this Dajjal is a kadhab. But he will follow him due to the doubts which he will pose upon him. Look at this hadith. So we know that Dajjal is a kafir. We know he's going to be defeated. We know all of this. But the Prophet said, still stay away from him. Why? Because due to the doubts which he's going to put upon you, even though you know before you meet him that he's a liar, you will follow him. This is Ahlul Bid'ah bil Wasf wal Ayn. This is the people of innovation, even if they're from the Muslims, in terms of their doubts. Ibn Battah said concerning this hadith, this kalam is precise and it is great. This kalam of Ibn Battah, he said, هذا قول الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو الصادق المصدوق. This is the saying of the Messenger of Allah, and he is the one who speaks the truth, and the one we affirm that which he has said. And he's talking about the hadith about the Dajjal. He said, يا معشر المسلمين, O Muslims, لا يحملن أحدا منكم حسن ظنه بنفسه. Don't let one of you, due to him thinking good about himself, or due to him knowing or believing that he knows he's upon the correct way, don't let this cause you to now sit with the people of innovation and bring danger upon yourself. فَيَقُولُ, so a person might say due to him thinking, MashaAllah, I'm upon the truth. I know I'm upon the haqq. And I know that which I'm upon as Salafi is the haqq. No doubt in it. Ibn Battah said, and don't let him say, أُدَاخِلُهُ لِأُنَاذِرُهُ. Don't let him say that I will enter upon him to debate him. Don't let a person be fooled by himself. أو لأستخرج منه مذهبه, or I cause him to leave from his methodology or his school of thought. Look what he said. فَإِنَّهُمْ أَهْلُ الْبِدَعِ, for indeed أَشَدُّ فِتْنَةٍ مِنَ الدَّجَّالِ. They are a greater fitna than the Dajjal. Ahlul Bid'ah, he said, are a greater fitna than ad-Dajjal al-Kafir. Why? Because we know that Dajjal is a kafir. We know he's a kadhab. Ahlul Bid'ah, they come in the thiyab, in the gown of Sunnah, in the gown of al-Islam. So look at the tashbih, the resemblance between the Dajjal and Ahlul Bid'ah. He went on to explain, فَإِنَّ كَلَامُهُمْ أَلْصَقْ وَأَحْرَقْ لِلْقُلُوبِ مِنَ اللَّهَبِ. He said, for indeed their speech, it burns the heart more than a flame. Look what he went on to say. He said, وَلَقَدْ رَأَيْتُ, he said, and I have saw jama'at, and a group of the people, كَانُوا يَلْعَنُونَهُمْ, they used to curse the people of innovation, وَيَسُبُّونَهُمْ, and they used to swear at them or insult them. فَجَالَسُوهُمْ, but they sat with them عَلَى سَبِيلِ الْإِنْكَارِ وَالرَّدِّ. They sat with them trying to criticize them and refute them. What happened? They ended up being like them. Look at Ibn Battah at his time. Ibn Battah speaking about a group of the people that sat with Ahlul Bid'ah to refute them, not to sit with them in a party, or sit down with them in a gathering, or sit down with them in your house. He's talking about people who sat with them to refute them and to criticize them. And then this resulted in them becoming like them. Why? Because of the doubts that they threw upon you. They caused you your deen, and they put you in a fitna. And like we said, fitna, because as Ibn Uthaymeen said, and we repeat it, is built upon two things. It's built upon shubha, doubt, and it's built upon shahwa, desires. This is fitna. This is fitna. Doubts and desires. And every fitna you will find one of these two things present. So now, due to us thinking good about ourselves, mashallah, I believe I have knowledge. And in this country, الَّذِي يَدِينَ اللَّهَ بِهِ, that which I worship Allah upon, that none of us is befitting to sit with these people of innovation and debate them. Never mind Ahl al-Ilm, that this is for the ulama of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. None of us are befitting to do this. So why do we find ourselves at the forefront to go and sit with these people of innovation and these people of doubts and debate with them and argue with them? This is from shaitan. Because he knows that we're not ready and we're not able. So that we'll go and we'll listen to something which will cause us to end up in doubt. And that's why you have so much confusion all around you in the various communities. Because a person believes, MashaAllah. As Ibn Battah said, حُسْنَ الظَّنِّهِ بِنَفْسِهِ. He thinks good about himself. MashaAllah, I'm on the Salafiyya. I know a da'wah to Salafiyya. They can't fool me. But that's why now you have people turning around and attacking the Salafiyun, saying the Haddadis, saying the Mutashaddidun, saying that all they do is love Jarh wa Ta'deel, Jarh wa Ta'deel, Jarh wa Ta'deel. Why? Because they've sat with the Hizbis and the doubts have entered into their hearts. It's stuck to their heart like glue. Why? Because they thought at the beginning stage that they were worthy to sit with these people. MashaAllah. So look at the kalam of Ibn Battah and the meaning that he has. We should abstain from these people and not sit with them, not mix with them, not be friendly with them. Ahlul Bid'ah al-Mubtadi'ah. Rather, we should abstain from their gatherings. Even those people who have shubahat, those people who have doubts, and they're spreading their doubts and polluting this ummah with their doubts. Even if they claim to be Salafis, we abstain from them. From Bab al-Wiqaya, protecting our own deen. And we leave them to stay involved in that fitna that they have chosen to be involved in. Why? Because we protect our own religion. Even if they claim to be upon Salafiyah. So when you see them running around attacking the Salafi mashayikh, when you see them running around attacking the Ikhwan al-Salafiyun, who are known for their Salafi and spreading Salafiyah, then we abstain from them out of Bab al-Wiqaya, protecting our own deen. We don't mix with them. But that's the problem, especially in the West. Because we believe, mashallah, that we're something that we're not. And especially in London. That the man says he's Salafi, so khalas, mashallah. Even if the man is the most evil man upon the wajh al-ard, and he abuses Ahlul Sunnah and the Mashayikh such as Shaykh Rabi' and Shaykh Abdul Muhsin and Shaykh Ubayd, he says that he's a Salafi, khalas, so I'll sit with him and I'll laugh and I'll joke and I'll invite him to my gatherings. Ibn al-Qayyim said, تغيير الأسماء لا تغير تغيير الحقائق. Or لا تغير الحقائق. He said that changing a name does not change the reality of something. So you can call yourself what you want. And it's not upon us that we say you're not Salafi or whatever, or that you're this or that, or you're that. Or we say we abstain from you, fearing your evil. We stay away from you, fearing your evil, because we don't want to hear your backbiting, we don't want to hear your doubts, we don't want to hear your namima, and we don't want to hear your buhtan, your slandering. We abstain from you. And we stay away from you. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Why? This is the manhaj of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. But people have abandoned this methodology. And that is why when the Salaf, they used to say concerning an individual, as we were mentioned in many places, when Imam Ahmed rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, "Unzurum ala man nazal wa ila man ya'wa." He was asked about an individual and he said, the meaning was reported in Al-Ibana of Ibn Battah. He said, if you want to know, look at who he goes to, meaning he resides with, and who he seeks refuge with. So by this, by him being, or who he goes to, or who he sleeps with or stays with, you know what he's upon. From this you know, and it's sufficient to know what this man is upon. That's why some of the Salaf, they used to say, عَنِ الْمَرْءِ لَا تَسْأَلْ وَسَلًا قَرِينِهِ. About a person, don't ask about a person. Ask about his friend. فَكُلُّ قَرِينٍ بِالْمَقَارِنِ يَقْتَدِي. Because every person will follow the one who is like him. And one of the Salaf, he said about this, he said, لَمْ أَرَى بَيْتًا قَطُّ أَشْبَهْ بِالسُّنَّةِ مِنْ قَوْلِ عَدِي. He said, I've not seen a piece of poetry that resembles the sunnah more than this statement of, which we mentioned, don't ask about a person, but ask about his friend. Why? Because this is the sunnah of we mentioned earlier. This is the sunnah. We should not be ashamed to ask, who does he mix with? Who is his companions? Who did he give a lecture with? Who does he sit on the platform with? Don't be ashamed. This is from the manhaj of the Salaf. Even though people are trying to turn you away from this and make this something which is ugly and something which is now detested. Why? Because they don't like the manhaj of the Salaf in itself. Why? Because the Salaf, they used to pronounce a ruling upon an individual just due to his companions. The Salaf, they used to pronounce a ruling upon an individual just based upon his companions. And as Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, he said, Al-Muslim yattabi' al-Muslim wal-Fajir yattabi' al-Fajir. The Muslim will follow a Muslim and the sinner will follow a sinner. Meaning the Muslim al-multazim bidinihi, the one who sticks to his religion. And the sinner will follow a sinner. And the innovator will follow an innovator. And the hizbi will follow a hizbi. This is from the sunnah. The habits of mankind. As the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. The person is upon the religion of his companion. فَلْيَنْظُرُ. So let each one of you look to that person who he associates with. Why? Because it's not possible that you aid and you sit and you defend and you accompany and you love one who is opposite to you. It's not possible. Likewise, Ash-Shu'bah, one of the Imams of the Salaf, he said, وَجَدْتُ مَكْتُوبًا عِنْدِي إِنَّمَا يُصَاحِبَ الرَّجُلْ مَنْ يُحِبُّ. He said something that was written with me, a principle. It was established, I wrote it, it was a principle with me, that indeed a man will not accompany except the one who he loves. This is with Ash-Shu'bah, the Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen in Hadith. He was described as Amir al-Mu'mineen in Hadith. From the Imam of the Salaf. He said this was something which was written with me, a principle, that a man would not accompany except one who he loved. So, إِيَّاكُمْ يَا إِخْوَانَنَا. Beware of being and associating with the hizbis, or even those people who have shabahat, doubts, or ahlul bid'ah, or ahlul kufr. Beware of this. Why? Because the Salaf, they used to hold that a person does not associate except with one who he loves and who he likes. And this was one of their qawa'id. How they used to differentiate between Ahlul Sunnah and Ahlul Bid'ah. Because the people of innovation have many ways and mediums and devices by which they can hide that which they're upon. Like Al-Barbahari likened them to a scorpion, an aqrab, who buries their heads in the sand. Ahlul Bid'ah are good at doing this. They can hide themselves good. Where you would believe, MashaAllah, this man, he's a Sunni, Salafi. No doubt. But they can't hide one thing. They can't hide their companions. As one of the Salaf, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, يَتَكَاتُمْ أَهْلُ الْأَهْوَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا تَعَالَفْ وَالصُّحْبَةِ. He said, Muhammad ibn Ubaidillah, he said the people of innovation can hide everything except those people who their companionship, and those people that they have harmony with, that they're united with. They can hide everything, their beliefs, their innovation, their doubts, their desires. They can hide this, but they can't hide their companionship. And you see this, wallahi, widespread, everywhere. Maybe you now in your heads have tens and twenties or hundreds of examples that you can give. That a man claims, MashaAllah, akhi, I'm with you. I'm upon the sunnah, ya akhi. I love the mashayikh. I love a salafiyah. But you see him with the mubtadi'ah. Sahib wa sahib. Best friends. You see him inviting him and sitting with him on platforms and defending them, which shows that in reality you're like them. But you're hiding that which you are upon. Likewise, Imam Ahmed rahimahullah ta'ala, when Abu Dawood as-Sajistani, he said, قُلْتُ لِإِمَامْ Ahmed, I said to Imam Ahmed, Abdullah, he said, أَرَى رَجُلًا, if I saw a man from Ahl Sunnah, now we're talking about Ahl Sunnah, not Ahl Bid'ah. Because people might say, and it's an argument which is commonly used, no, akhi, this is talking about Ahl Bid'ah in themselves. Abu Dawud as-Sajistani, he said, if I saw a man from Ahl Sunnah, Salafi, Sunni, from Ahl Hadith, مع الرجل من أهل البدع, with a person from the people of innovation, أترك كلامه, should I leave his speech? Should I abandon him? What did Imam Ahmed say? No, ya akhi, ittaqillah. He's Salafi, he's Sunni, he says he's a Salafi. How can you abandon him? This is extremism, this is oppression. What did Imam Ahmed say? The Imam of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, he said, لا أولم تعلمه أن الرجل الذي رأيته معه صاحب بدعة. He said, no, firstly, you should inform him that the one who he was spotted with He's a person of innovation, a companion of innovation. This is the justice of Imam Ahmad. Why? Because it's possible. Sometimes you might be walking down the street, and it could happen that somebody stopped you and you didn't want to stop and speak to them. Or that you didn't know. It's yumkin. It's possible that you didn't know the situation of a specific individual. But then Imam Ahmad continued, he said, فَإِن تَرَكَ كَلَامُهُ فَكَلِّمْهُ. So if now, after you informed him, he left the speech of this individual, this person of innovation, then speak to him. وَإِلَّا, and if he does not leave the speech of this individual and the companionship of this person of innovation, أَلْحِقُ بِهِ, then join him to them, or treat him as if he is one of them. And then he went on to say, because Ibn Mas'ud said that a person is with his companion. So this is the aqidah on the manhaj of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Imam Ahmad, the Imam of Ahl Sunnah, what did he say? First of all, inform him. After that, if he leaves his speech, then speak to him. If he doesn't, then abandon him. Why? Because the matter of companionship was a matter of great importance. It's not possible to have tarbiyah or tasfiyah, purify this ummah from al-bid'ah, innovation, al-shirk, and al-kufr in its various forms and types, except by having good companionship and abandoning those people of innovation and kufr and shirk and the people of desires. It's not possible. Because if all of the people were one, the people of kufr, the people of bid'ah, the people of sunnah, mukhtalita, all mixed into one, then how would a person know that which is good from that which is bad? How would the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to these people? How would it come? You have those fasaqa, people who are sinning amongst you. People upon bid'ah, lying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger. How is the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to come? So without good companionship and righteous companionship, there's no tasfiyah. There's no purification of this ummah. Because the doubts are going to be spread because everybody appears to be one. What did Sufyan al-Thawri say? Because many of us, when we go to a new city or a new town, we're lackadaisy. We don't care, we'll sit with anybody, sit and speak to anybody. It's an easy matter. MashaAllah, we're all Muslims. When Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah ta'ala, entered al-Basra, what did he say? What did he do? He wanted to ask about al-Rabi'. And he wanted to know about his situation, because this is from the manhaj of Ahl Sunnah that we ask about individuals. Ya akhi, who did they sit with? Who were their mashayikh? Who from the mashayikh did they return to? Who's their companions? Who do they cooperate with? This is from the manhaj of Ahl Sunnah. Before we enter any city or town, this is what we should be asking. Before we go anywhere. So when Sufyan al-Thawri entered al-Basra, he started investigating about this man. And the position of this man with the people. So when he asked, Sa'ala, he said, Ayyu shay madhabuhu? What is his madhab? What is his belief? So the people said, قالوا ما مذهبه للسنة. His madhab is nothing except the sunnah. This is many of the time. You go, Ya akhi, what do you say about such and such? Akhi, Salafi, mashallah, Sunni. So did Sufyan al-Thawri now leave it there? And say, mashallah, khalas. You said his methodology, his madhab is a sunnah, khalas, mashallah, his methodology is a sunnah. Sufyan said, and who is his companions? They responded, Ahlul Qadr, the people of Qadr. What did he say? No, he's a Salafi, inshallah, because you said his madhab is the Sunnah, and he's well known for the Sunnah, so inshallah he's a Sunni, he's Salafi. Is that how he responded? Because the man and the people, they said, no, he's a Sunnah. His madhab is nothing except illa Sunnah. But from the understanding of this Imam of the Salaf, he had to investigate deeper. Because what is apparent to the common people that is Sunnah might not be Sunnah in reality. So he said, who is his companions? They said, Ahlul Qadr, the people of Qadr, who denied al-Qadr. What did Sufyan al-Thawri say? He said, إِذَنْ هُوَ الْقَدَرِ, therefore he's a Qadri, he's not a Sunni. He's not from Ahl Sunnah. Ma yumkin. Not possible that a Sunni can now sit with the people of Qadr and his methodology is the methodology of Sunnah. Not possible. It's like mixing oil and water. They don't mix. They don't mix. Why? This is from the madhab of the Salaf and the understanding of the Imams of the Salaf. But today you go into a city, or you go into a place, or you speak to a brother, Akhi, mashallah, what do you say about Abdullah? or Ukhti, what do you say about Aisha? MashaAllah, Salafi, Salafiyya. Naam ya akhi, but who's his companions? Where does he pray? Who does he hang with? Who does he cooperate with? Akhi, ittaqillah, Salafi. It's other tashaddud, this extremism and ghulu. What they're saying that the madhab of the Salaf is the methodology of ghulu, because this was the manhaj of the Sahaba. Like we said, the Prophet had the companions were the Sahaba, al-akhyar, and they stayed away from the ashrar, from the munafiqun. Like the tabi'un were the companions of the Sahaba, and the atba' tabi'in were the companions of the tabi'in. So this is qadah. They're criticizing the methodology of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and the methodology of the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhi salatu wasalam. Or ridwanullahi alayhi. So this was the fiqh, the understanding of Sufyan al-Thawri. Ibn Battah again, in his great book Al-Ibana, and if one has the ability to read it in Arabic, wallahi, it should be read, because the fawaid, the benefit in it is great. He said concerning the statement of Sufyan al-Thawri, he said, Rahmatullahi ala Sufyan al-Thawri. May Allah be pleased, or may Allah, the blessings of Allah be upon Sufyan al-Thawri. لَقَدْ نَطَقَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ فَصَدَقَ. For indeed he has spoken with wisdom and he has spoken the truth. فَقَالَ وَقَالَ بِعِلْمٍ. And Sufyan has spoken with knowledge. فَوَافَقَ الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ. And he has agreed with the book of Allah and the Sunnah. How did he agree with the Sunnah? Or firstly, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We mentioned to you the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the ones who do not remove themselves from those people who disbelieve in the ayat of Allah, and those people who mock the signs of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about them, Allahu Jalla wa Ala, He said, إِنَّكُمْ إِذَمْ مِثْلُهُمْ. He said, indeed, meaning if you don't remove yourself from them, then indeed you are like them. So that's from the Quran. That is from the Quran. Surah An-Nisa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you don't remove yourself from them, فَلَا تَقَعَدُوا مَعَهُمْ. Don't sit with them. And if you don't remove yourself from them, then you're like them. That's from the Quran. So he's agreed with the Quran. And likewise the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ يَخُودُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-An'am, if you see those people dispute concerning the signs of Allah, then remove yourself from them. So again, Sufyan al-Thawri has agreed with the Quran. How has he agreed with the Sunnah? Well, we mentioned the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba. That the person is with one who he loves. Or another narration of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. That a person is upon the religion of his friend. So let each one of you look who he accompanies. So Sufyan al-Thawri agreed with the book of Allah and the Sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ. So Ibn Battah went on to say, so Sufyan al-Thawri has spoken knowledge which is agreed with the book, the Quran and the Sunnah. And that which wisdom would legislate or necessitate. And that which the eyes have witnessed. وَيَعْرِفُهُ أَهْلُ الْبَصِيرِ. And the people of understanding, they know and they realize this matter. What do they realize? They realize that it is not possible for a Sunni, a Salafi, to sit with a person of innovation. Not possible. Not possible. Likewise, Ibn Taymiyyah said, Shaykh al-Islam, enforcing this methodology and showing that this is haqq. Because there's many athar concerning this matter. Ibn Taymiyyah said, وَمَنْ كَانَ مُحْسِنًا لِلذَّنْبِهِمْ. Because you have people, they think good of these individuals. So Shaykh al-Islam said, and as for the one who thought good about them, meaning the people of innovation, the people of shubahat, the people of dalala, وَادَّعَ, and he claimed أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَعْرِفْ حَالَهُمْ, and he claimed that he did not know their real state. عُرِّفَ حَالَهُمْ, then he is known, or he is made, or it is made clear to him their state. فَإِن لَمْ يُبَايِنْهُمْ, and if he does not remove himself from them, وَيُظْهِرْ لَهُمَ الْإِنْكَارِ, and he makes apparent his criticism of them, وَإِلَّا أُلْحِقَ بِهِمْ, and if he does not do this, then he is treated like them. And he is added, or considered to be one of them. وَجُعِلَ مِنْهُمْ, and he is made as one of them. Look at the statement of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. So the one who has good thought about these individuals, what do we do? And he claimed that he doesn't know the real situation. Then we go to him, Ya Akhi, this person that you sat with, he's a Hizbi, well known because of this and that. And the ulama have said this concerning him. Now, after we inform this individual, never mind if we hear any praising, because if we hear any praising, then the matter is finished. He's from them. Now, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said, if he does not remove himself from them and openly manifest his criticism of them, then فَأُلْحِقَ مَعَهُمْ. He's considered and regarded to be one of them. So this goes for any person that we see defending and sitting with the people of innovation and desires. كَائِنًا مَنْ كَانَ. Defending them, becoming their solicitors and their lawyers. This is the manhaj, how we are meant to deal with these people. Why? Because we mentioned earlier the wisdom at the beginning from sitting with those people who are righteous and pious, and those people who remember Allah, those people who are people of the sunnah, those people who are people of istiqamah, straightness in their aqeedah and in their methodology. And we mentioned the benefits from this. And like the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, Al-arwahu junudun mujannada, and we explained it and we mentioned it, that the souls are like a recruited army. فَمَا تَعَارَفَ مِنْهَا اِئْتَلَفَ. Those souls which agree with one another, they will be in harmony. وَمَا تَنَاكَرَ مِنْهَا اِخْتَلَفَ. And those souls which disagree, then they will split or differ. Hadithun sahih. That's why Al-Fudayl ibn Iyad said, after this hadith, فَلَا يُمْكِنْ أن يكون صاحب السنة يمالي صاحب بدعة إلا من النفاق. It is not possible that a person of sunnah could defend a person of innovation except out of hypocrisy. Not possible. Why? Because the arwah, the souls, are a recruited army. They join together. A good soul will find a good soul, an evil soul will find an evil soul. A Sunni will find a Sunni, a mubtadi' will find a mubtadi'. Not the other way around. Impossible, except out of hypocrisy. And the athar that we always like to mention, that's why Ibn Mas'ud also said, لو أن مؤمنا دخل مسجدا, if a Muslim or mu'min, a believer, was to enter a masjid, and there was 100 souls in there, and you had one believer, لَجَاءَ حَتَى يَجْلِسْ إِلَيْهِ. If you had 100 people in the masjid, and only one of them was a believer, then the believer, he would go and sit with this one believer. Why? Because the souls are attracted. The souls are attracted. And he said, وَلَوْ أَنَّ مُنَافِقًا, and if you had a munafiq, a hypocrite, دَخَلَ مَسْجِدًا, and he entered a masjid, there were 100 people in there, and there wasn't except one hypocrite present. Out of 100, لَجَاءَ حَتَّى يَجْلِسْ إِلَيْهِ. He would have went and sat with that one hypocrite. Why? Because the souls are a recruited army. They're together, joined. And it's not possible that they split. It's not possible that they split. And that is why we say those people who cause the majority of the doubt between Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, if you investigate their situation, you will find that they are the people who mix with the people of Hizbiyun and the people of doubts. Anywhere around you. Whether in the UK, whether abroad, in the Muslim lands, wherever you look. Why? Because this is a disease. A doubt, a shubha is a disease. That's why one of the Salaf, he said, Al-qalb da'if wad-deen laysa liman ghalab. When one of the people wanted to debate him, he said the heart, he refused. He said the heart is weak and the religion does not belong to the one who is strongest or the one who overcomes by argumentation. Because the heart is weak and it drinks doubts and shubahats. Even if you hear it once or twice, even if you were to hear a doubt once or twice, your heart will become affected or it will become implanted in your heart. That's the nature of mankind. That's the nature of mankind. So that is why Ahlul Sunnah, they stick with Ahlul Sunnah. They stick with Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah and they have patience with Ahlul Sunnah. Even if they might face some difficulties and some harms. Because nobody's claiming that we're malaika. But likewise, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said, any good that you find with Ahlul Bid'ah, you will find it with Ahlul Sunnah more. Any evil you find with Ahlul Sunnah, you will find it with Ahlul Bid'ah more. So this is no excuse. Don't let a person come, Akhi, but I don't like these brothers, they have bad manners. Ish hadha al-kalam. What type of speech is this? No, you're not sitting with Ahlul Sunnah because you're not from them. Yes, we have deficiencies and shortcomings, but like the Prophet ﷺ, we have to have patience upon this. This is not an argument now or an excuse where you can accompany the people of innovation. It's not an argument and an excuse. Rather, the Salaf, they forbid this and they were against this, and they used to liken the people of innovation to the hypocrites and show resemblance from them. For example, Ibn Battah said about the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when the Prophet ﷺ said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet said, مثل المنافق في أمتي, the like of the innovator in my ummah, in my nation, كمثل الشاة العائرة, is like a wandering sheep between two packs or two flocks. تصير إلى هذه مرة, sometimes it goes to that flock and sometimes it goes to that. It doesn't know which one it's following. Ibn Battah said, كثر هذا الدرب من الناس في زماننا هذا. He said this type of people, they have become many in our time. Meaning like a wandering sheep. Even though they're Muslims, they are like a wandering sheep. They're uncertain. Who are they following? One day they're with him and one day they're with him. He said, لا كثرهم الله. Ameen. May Allah not increase them. وَسَلَّمَ اللَّهُ وَإِيَّاكُمْ مِنْ شَرِّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ وَكَيْدِ الْبَاغِينَ وَلَا جَعَلَنَا وَإِيَّاكُمْ مِنَ اللاعبين بِالدِّينِ. And may Allah protect us from this and from the evil of the hypocrites and the plans of those people, the transgressors, and that He does not make us from those people who play with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Commenting upon what? He's commenting in the chapter, if you were to read it, about the statement of Al-Awza'i. When the well-known statement of Al-Awza'i rahimahullah ta'ala, Ibn Battah comments upon it. When it was said, Inna rajulan yaqul, a person says, and you find this widespread, that many people say it. Ana ujalis ahlus sunnah wa ujalis ahlul bid'ah. I sit with the people of sunnah and I sit with the people of innovation. What did Awza'i? He said, MashaAllah, give them da'wah. Well done. Or this is what you're doing, it's right. Did he say, MashaAllah, even we take the good and we leave the bad? This wasn't the reply of Al-Awza'i rahimahullah ta'ala. And this wasn't the reply of the Prophet ﷺ about the Dajjal. We ordered the Muslim to flee from. Awza'i said, هذا الرجل يريد أن يساوي بين الحق والباطل. This man, he wants to make truth and falsehood one. Like a person of innovation. The person of innovation, when we see him mixing with the people of Sunnah, and he claims that he's from them, but you see him aiding and sitting with the people of innovation, then we know that he wants to make Ahlul Sunnah and Ahlul Bid'ah one. Like Annan Ar'ur, Al-Maghrawi, and lately and lastly, Abul Hasan, who the ulama have spoken about. Why? Because they want to make a taqreeb, they want to join Ahlul Sunnah with Ahlul Bid'ah and unite them and remove certain principles or implement certain principles in order for this to take place. For example, Abul Hasan, he came with the issue of Al-Mujmal Al-Mufassal, that the general speech, it has to be returned back to the specific speech, and this ended in him defending Sayyid Qutb and saying Sayyid Qutb, you can't ascribe to him Wahdatul Wujud, even though he, from this particular issue about Sayyid Qutb, he recanted, but Alfa Mujmal Mufassal, he never. Also the issue with Abul Hasan, the issue with him about the Khabr al-Thiqa, taking a trustworthy narration from the ulama. For example, if the ulama criticized an individual with proofs and evidences, he said that I will not accept it until I witness this, what has been said about this individual with my own eyes, which led him to also defend Sayyid Qutb Maghrawi, also sit with some specific individuals which he shouldn't have been sitting with. But we see with him he has double standards, like Sheikh Rabi said. Because he would take narrations about Ahlul Sunnah and use them from people we don't even know about. And he would implement them. But all of these principles, people don't understand. the depth. Why are these principles, why are they being implemented and used? Because they're implementing principles to join Ahlul Sunnah and bring them closer to Ahlul Bid'ah, to the Qutubiyun as-Sururiyun. This is why they're being implemented. Likewise, Shaykh Rabi, he criticized him with regards to his position of the Khabar al-Ahad, hadith which comes from a narration which is Ahad. Other issues which are going to come to light, inshallah, in the future, which the Mashayikh will criticize him for. Similar thing with Adnan Urur. Never started overnight. It was after time, gradually. He came with these false principles. A false principle which is coming now, that the ulama have to agree, ijma', consensus, upon an individual before we can take their criticism. This is being widespread. Why? Again, why? So that you can join Ahlul Sunnah or Ahlul Bid'ah, so that they become closer. There's no gap now between the Qutubiyya and Ahlul Sunnah, the Salafiyun. These are why these principles are being implemented. That is why the ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, Ahlul Basira, those people who can see the plots and plans. As Al-Hasan al-Basri said, the alim, he sees the fitna before it even comes. But as for us, we see it after it's gone. MashaAllah, yes, sahih, man. Shaykh Rabi spoke the truth about this matter. Ahmed al-Najmi, Shaykh Muhammad al-Banna, Shaykh Muhammad Abdul Wahhab al-Wasabi, Shaykh Zayd al-Madkhali, MashaAllah, Shaykh Ubaid, they all spoke the truth. They were right, you know. Why? Because it's gone, it's disappeared. Fitna's over. Khalas. But when it comes, the ulama can see it when it's coming. That's why Shaykh Rabi said he'd been advising Abu al-Hasan for how many years? Because he saw it coming. But he tried to stop it. But the army, the ignorant person, like you have those present in London running around like chickens, like lawyers in a court, where they take it upon themselves to defend, and they don't even know what they're defending. They don't realize the issue. And like I said, don't be fooled. Wallahi ya ikhwanana wa ya akhawatina. Don't be fooled, because the people you see defending Abu al-Hasan today, they were the ones defending Maghrawi yesterday. The people you seen defending Maghrawi yesterday, they were the people defending Anana Urur a year ago. The people you see defending Anana Urur a year ago, they were the people with Suhaib Hasan defending him. Keeps on going back, it's a chain. Goes back, goes back. It's their custom, it's their nature. Not something new. Don't be surprised. A brother came to me and said, Ya Akhi, these people, these brothers, they defending Abu al-Hasan. I said, Ya Akhi, Sharif Abdul Noor, Sheikh Muqbil said, is an innovator 7 years ago. They're still stocking his tapes in their shops. Leave Abu al-Hasan, it's a chain. Ongoing. People can't understand and realize it. Ibn Battah said about the statement of Al-Awza'i. He said, Sadaq al-Awza'i, Awza'i has spoken the truth. Awza'i has spoken the truth. Aqul, and he said, and I will say about this matter, about sitting with the people of innovation and sitting with the people of Sunnah. Inna hadha rajulun, indeed this is a man, la ya'rif al-haqq, he does not know the truth, min al-batil, from falsehood. Wala al-kufr min al-iman, and he does not know disbelief from iman. And he said, وَفِي مِثْلِ هَذَا, and concerning this, the Quran was revealed, and you find the Sunnah Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam coming. And he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ. He said the statement of Allah was revealed about these people, those people who sit with Ahlul Sunnah and sit with Ahlul Bid'ah. When Allah said, and if they were to meet those who believe, they say that we are with you. Talking about the hypocrites, and this is the resemblance between them. Even though that they are Muslims, and we affirm al-Islam, that they resemble the hypocrites. They said, if they were to meet those who believe, the hypocrites, they would say, قَالُوا أَمَّنَّا, we believe. We believe. Likewise, the Mubtadi or the Hizbi, or the one who's in a manzila bayna manzilatayn, as they claim, he claims he's in the middle. When he comes to you, Akhi, I'm with you, Akhi. 100%. As you see, they go to the Mamlakat al-Arabiya, or they go to this place and that place, or they go to Birmingham, or they go to this place, and they go, yeah, Akhi, you know what? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And when they go back, وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ, and when they become alone with their shayateen, their devils, whether they be from the kuffar or ahlul bid'ah, the people of innovation, because the people of innovation are shayateen, from the ins, they say, indeed we are with you. Hakada. When they go to Ahlul Sunnah, Ya Akhi, we're with you inshallah. Yeah, these people, they're wrong. When they go to Ahlul Bid'ah, Ya Akhi, no, we're with you, it's only fooling them. Hakada Ahlul Bid'ah. Look at the description that Ibn Battah has gone. Like he knows them from the top to bottom. Because this is no different from their time. There's no difference in our time. Except what? Except as we mentioned at the beginning of the talk, sharrun minhu, this time we're living is more evil than the time that was gone before us. You have those people came back from the Mamlaka. I saw from Shaykh Rabi' that which will prevent me taking his kalam about Abul Hasan. What did you see from Shaykh Rabi'? Don't come with this mujmal kalam, with these evil words. What did you see? Like I said, Ahlul Sunnah will not be fooled. No matter how much you beautify your speech, zakhrafatul qawl, no matter how much you try and mix, and you try and pretend, and you try and mingle, and you try and make talbis, and fool the individuals and the people, or even if you try and strive to fool the scholars, as the poet says, مَهْمَا يَكُنْ عِنْدِ امْرَئٍ مِنْ خَلِيقَةٍ وَإِنْ خَالَهَا تَخْفَى عَلَى النَّاسِ تُعْلَمِ. If a person has a characteristic he tries to hide, don't worry, one day it's going to be known. It's only a matter of time. The clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Before, and the time will come when you will be exposed for that which you really are. So like we said, we don't be fooled by this matter. It's a matter of our deen. Companionship is a great matter of our deen. And it is a matter we should concentrate on greatly. That we should pick our companions greatly and safely. More so as well for the brothers who are married. For the brothers who are married. For indeed you should help pick the friends of your wives. Because don't think that this same thing is not happening with the sisters. Maybe worse. Maybe even worse. So this thing which we're implementing or we're speaking about now is a matter every day of your life you should be implementing it. With your wife, with your children, with yourselves, with your community, with everybody. Something which will insha'Allah aid you, aid your children, aid your wife and aid the ummah as a whole. That's why the Salaf they wrote books of usul. The fundamentals of this deen. Why did they implement? Why did Ibn Battah, he put the chapter التحذير من صحبة قوم يمردون القلوب ويفسدون الإيمان. A chapter warning from accompanying a people who cause the hearts to become sick and they will cause iman, or they will pollute one's iman. Why? This is a book about aqidah, qadr, al-iman, shafa'ah. Why? Because there's no purification in the deen and there's no preserving these matters except by this great point, this great factor about accompanying those people who are righteous. Manhajun azim, great methodology. And the majority of the people don't realize it and don't implement it. That's why they have confusion everywhere. You will not go to a city except that you find people, they don't know whether they're coming or whether they're going. And they're to blame. Because they're like headless chickens, one day with them, one day with them. And like we said, Ibn Battah mentioned two reasons, or one of two, he mentioned two reasons from the reasons which will cause a person to deviate. The first of them is kathratus su'al, asking many questions about them matters which don't benefit you in your religion, and you will not be safe from any type of fitna. It might cause you harm. The second matter, after your heart has become healthy, the matter which he mentioned which will cause you now your heart to become sick is suhbat al-ashrar, sitting with those people who are evil. This is a great matter. Go to any book of the ulama of the Salaf, any book, and you will find something in there with regards to sitting with the people of innovation and staying away from them. Any book. Sharh Sunnah al-Barbahari, Sunnah Imam Ahmad, Sunnah Ibn Abil Asim, Sharh Usul al-I'tiqad al-Lalikai. Any books, Al-Ibn Ibn Battah. Go to any of the books, and you will find this great point and this great principle mentioned. Inshallah, we'll finish there بإذن ta'ala. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. The proceeding has been a presentation of Al-Maktabatu Salafiyya and SalafiBookstore.com.